Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us for another lesson, episode 59.
Wow.
Yeah, almost to 60.
Rolling up on 100 histories.
Crazy.
That is crazy. Learned so much.
Yeah, unfortunately. Kind of want to
Unfortunately.
go back to when ignorance was bliss.
Yeah.
Oh, we are back this week to look at an event I had not heard of until recently with all of the crazy shit going over here in the United States of this here America.
Yeah.
And that is the Battle of Blair Mountain.
Blair Mountain.
Yes,
All
the
right.
Battle of Blair
Oh, is
Mountain.
this that one?
Maybe.
Nice.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
The one where old Big Sarge was talking about it.
Yes.
Nice. Yes.
Yes. So if you ever listen to this, shout out to Big Sarge and
Sons of
Sons of
Liberty.
Liberty. Yep. Follow you guys on Instagram. Share your shit all the time. Uh,
I love you, Big Sarge.
this man fanboys so hard sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you know anything about Appalachia, it is probably the coal industry. It is a dangerous, dirty, profitable industry that was the backbone of this region for a long time. A lot of mining took, and in a much smaller capacity, still takes place in West Virginia.
We have a copper mine here.
We have a lot of mines here.
Yeah.
One of our favorite hiking spots up on the parkway is a mica mine.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, there were a series of battles that took place across the region and later in Colorado, known today as the Coal Wars. After years of exploitation and abuse, workers were fed up with the way they were being treated by their employers and fought back, quite literally.
Nice.
For those who may not be aware, company towns were all the rage during this time. This is where a company comes in and builds some sort of industry, and then they build houses, stores, churches, and even schools around them. The company owns everything: the land, the houses, the businesses, and even the food at the store.
That shit's crazy.
Instead of getting a regular paycheck, you had what was called scripts,
Yeah.
and you would take those to the store
Stipends.
to buy stuff.
Yep.
This is a form of paternalism, or, quote, the control of workers by their employer who seek to force middle class ideals upon their working class employees, end quote. Alongside these conditions, companies employed strike breakers to bust up any strikes that started to crop up. Was Carl Panzeram on Why Would Men? Why Do Men?
Yes.
That's all I could think of when I was doing this part about the strike breakers.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Carl Panzeram. He was a fucking strike breaker. That was the only time that he didn't get in trouble for hurting people,
Right.
was because he was getting paid to hurt people.
That was the guy that liked strangling chicks, wasn't it?
That was the guy that liked to kill dudes
Oh, okay.
because he just hated the world
Yeah.
and everything. And he kept like getting out of prison. He would kill people in prison.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
the
he
guy with the
went,
big eagle on his
yeah,
chest. Oh,
yeah. Carl Panzeram.
that dude's scary.
Fucking scary. Strike breakers to bust up any strikes that started to crop up, and would bribe law enforcement to keep union organizers out of the area. I think at some point I'll cover company towns and the coal wars in a later episode.
Also, a shout out for our what is it, Patreon that one was on.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
yeah.
want to hear about Carl Panzeram,
Patreon.
Patreons.
Why do men? We don't know. We still don't know why Carl, he just hated the world.
Yeah.
At least
He's
he
a
was honest about it, though.
brutal fucking dude.
He was a brutal. But I don't know. That's one of the funny things. Is that's one of the things I like about guys like Carl Panzerian, is they are very honest about who they are.
Yeah, it kind of seems weird for why do men? Because he's very, like, he did things for a purpose. Very much
Yeah,
so.
kind
It's
of.
pretty easily explained, like, he's just fucking hated
He
everything.
just hated. Well, yeah, and it is kind of easily explained too because he had like a traumatic brain injury and he had a terrible
Yep.
upbringing. The poor boy was arrested at 8 for public intoxication, all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Go to our Patreon.
Yeah,
It's
go
in the
listen.
show
That's
notes.
crazy.
Anyways, but today we're going to talk about the battle that is known as the largest armed uprising since the Civil War.
Hell yeah.
When it came to the unions, if a worker was caught conspiring to start a union, they were fired. And due to the fact that they lived in these company owned towns, when they got fired, they had to leave the only home they had.
Right.
In West Virginia, this was the worst, and in the 1920s, there was a big push for workers to unionize. Of the leaders of this push, the biggest names were Frank Keeney, president of the local union district, and Mother Jones, who was an Irish born American who had worn many hats during her life and at the age of 83 was putting on the hat of union organizer. Quote, an eyewitness stated that Mother Jones would come up to the head of the creek and call out for all the men that wanted to be let out of slavery to follow her. And they did, scores of them. End quote. Over 3,000 miners from Mingo County joined the Union and were subsequently fired. The companies then hired the Baldwin Felts Detective Agency to evict the families of their former employees.
Damn, they just kick him out.
Oh, they did so much worse than just kick them out.
They just threw him out of town.
I didn't talk a lot. I didn't add it in here. It was like after I'd kind of finished my notes, and then I found this one little blurb about not only would they kick him out of town, they would go in where there would be like tent cities set up, and they had a truck that they would drive through and just open fire with a machine gun.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I think they called it like the death machine or the death mobile or some shit like that.
God, that's brutal.
Yeah. One of the co-owners of this agency was Thomas Felts, and it was his brothers Lee and Albert who would meet up in Metawan, Matewan, no,
Oh, mate, wine.
Metawan in Mingo County with a dozen other agents. These were the same agents who had been responsible for the Ludlow massacre in 1914 in Colorado, which I may talk about at some point. I don't know. Albert had arrived earlier in the town and attempted to bribe Mayor Cable Testerman to have machine guns placed on rooftops throughout the town, but he refused. So instead, the brothers headed out to the Stone Mountain Coal Company's property where they set about removing people from their homes. The first was a woman and her children who were forced out at gunpoint while her husband was not home. Witnesses sent word to law enforcement in town, and the agents were stopped on their way back to the train station by Police Chief Sid Hatfield and a group of deputized miners. Watch the fuck out. Sid told the agents they were under arrest, but Phelps replied that he actually had a warrant for Sid's arrest as well. After a miner shouted that they were arresting Sid, Mayor Cabell came out to see what was going on. He asked to see the warrant, and after looking it over, declared it was bogus. This started a gunfight known as the Matwan Massacre, where 10 men would be killed, including the mayor and Lee Phelps.
It'll match you on.
Yeah, words are hard, okay? This was the first major setback for the agency and gave miners in the area a morale boost. They began to flood to union meetings while at the same time their employers fought back against unionization. Gunfights broke out up and down the Tug River that summer, with miners and police battling it out. Sid took over Cabell's jewelry store and turned it into a gun shop, lending even more support to the resistance. Viva la resistance!
Nice.
Hatfield's trial began on January 26, 1921, for the murder of Albert Phelps. This trial was national news and brought the miners' fight into the national spotlight. Hatfield and all others charged from this fight would be acquitted, but this did set the Union back quite a bit. The mines did not stop work for long, however. They would import workers from other areas and bring back ex strikers who they forced to sign, was it yellow contracts? I think that's what they called them.
Yeah.
Where pretty much you signed it and you promised not to join a union, cross your heart, hope to die, stick a needle in your eye.
Hmm.
But the strikers kept up their attacks, and in May of 1921, they launched an assault known today as the 3 Days Battle. This battle would only end once martial law was put into place. On August 1st, 1921, Hatfield traveled to McDowell County to stand trial for. I'm sorry. Dynamiting coal mining equipment. This reminded me of the St. Francis Dam disaster and like the water wars
Mm-hmm.
in Los Angeles where farmers were just like blowing up aqueducts with dynamite.
Yeah.
Like, why does everybody have fucking dynamite?
I mean, they were miners.
It's so insane. Um, with him traveled his friend Ed Chambers and both of their wives. When they arrived at the courthouse, they were ambushed by Baldwin Felts agents and shot as they started to climb the steps. One of the agents then stepped closer and shot Chambers in the back of the head. Their
Damn.
yeah, yeah, executed on the courthouse steps. Their bodies were returned to Matawan, where word of the murder spread like wildfire. Miners took up arms and began to patrol along the Little Coal River. The, show, the sheriff of Logan County sent troopers to deal with the miners, but they were caught, disarmed, and sent packing. On August 7th, the leaders of the United Mine Workers called for a rally in Charleston. The leaders met with the governor of the time and presented him with the miners' demands. When he denied all of them, they began to plan a march on Mingo to free the imprisoned miners, end martial law, and organize the community. But this march would lead them through Logan County and Blair Mountain, which was under the supervision of Sheriff Chaffin, who was anti-union. Also on August 7th, Mother Jones spoke out at a rally and called for the miners to not do the march. She feared a bloodbath was law as law enforcement was much better equipped than the miners. But they didn't listen. They said, we're going to do it anyways. On August 20th, men began gathering at Lenz Creek Mountain, Kanawha County, where it is said that around 13,000 men would gather in the next 4 days.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
yeah. They then began marching towards Logan County, while other miners near St. Albans stole a train to meet up with the marchers in Danville.
All right.
Fucking love rednecks, man.
Just gonna hijack his train.
I tell you what. Absent from the march were Keeney and Mooney, who had ran away to Ohio, leaving the miners under the leadership of Bill Blizzard. Over on Blair Mountain, with the financial support of the Logan County Coal Operators Association, Sheriff Chaffin was setting up defenses against the incoming miners. He had about 2,000 guys. On August 25th, a few fights broke out, probably between scouts of each group, as the main part of the miners was still 15 miles from the mountain. On the 26th, President Warren G. Harding threatened to send federal troops and Army bombers to the area.
Jesus.
Because our government has a long history of using bombs on its own civilians.
Yeah, it does.
There was a meeting in Madison where the miners were convinced to go home, but before they started back, rumors began to spread that Chaffin's men had shot Union sympathizers in the town of Sharples, and families had been caught in the crossfire. This caused the men to turn again towards Blair Mountain, where the main battle would break out on August 29th. There were only roughly 2,000 men to the 13,000 or so miners. The sheriff's men, but the sheriff's men had the advantage of higher ground and better weapons. They also had the advantage of hiring private planes to drop poisonous gas and bombs left over from World War One on the
Damn.
miners.
What the fuck?
Um, the bombing of Move in Philadelphia, anybody?
Right.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yep.
An Army general also ordered Army bombers to surveil the scene, leading to one plane crashing that killed 4 out of the 5 crew members on board.
Hmm.
On August
So they
30th,
shot him down?
no, they just crashed into a mountain.
Oh, they weren't used to flying in the mountains.
Probably not. Like, they do.
Alright.
Nowadays, you hear fucking helicopters and planes going over all the time because they constantly use Appalachia
For
for
training.
training, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure in the 20s, 30s, no. No.
Right.
Um,
They do call it the Smoky Mountains for a reason.
hmm
You may have another mountain past that next cloud.
Yep. And especially at nighttime, you ain't gonna see that shit.
No. Nowadays they use radar and shit.
Yeah.
Kind of, they know where things are at, but
In the 20s,
yeah, you just had to rely on sight, like what you could see,
like
you
a
know?
100 years ago,
Yep.
they didn't have the technology we have
No.
today. On August 30th, Colonel William Eubanks was appointed commander of the forces controlling the miners, or confronting the miners. The battles continued for a week with Gatling guns and machine guns being used by both sides.
Damn.
Yeah.
Whew.
The battle would come to an end on September 2nd when federal troops arrived in the area. Many of the miners were veterans and refused to fire on their brothers in arms. The next day, word was spread to head home, with many miners concealing their weapons in the surrounding woods. This would actually come in handy when archaeologists went out to reconstruct the battle, because they found a lot.
Gatling guns.
Just guns in
Yeah.
general.
Right.
I don't see how many people died.
I don't know.
Hang on, I gotta go look, because I did not put that in there for some reason. Oh my god, I cannot.
Liquid Death, if you're watching. There it is.
And then loads of shit. I had to order it online last time because they don't carry it in store anymore.
Love that spicy water.
Okay, so this says that roughly 16 miners died, but some casualties could be as high as 100. It's hard to know because it was chaos.
I'm sure.
Chaos. Um, 985 miners would be charged with various crimes, including murder, accessory to murder, and treason against the state of West Virginia. Many of the miners were acquitted, but some of them faced sentences up to 4 years. At the trial for Bill Blizzard, one of the bombs that had been dropped on the miners and did not explode was brought in during his defense, and he was also acquitted.
Wow.
They dropped a fucking bomb on us. Here's the bomb. For a little while, the battle was a boon for coal company miner owners. Membership in the United Mine Workers of America dropped from 50,000 to around 10,000. By 1925, Illinois was the only state that was still unionized in the coal industry. However, this would change during Franklin Roosevelt's presidency. Due to the New Deal, workers were able to organize and bargain with their employers, leading to a major growth in membership for the UMWA and other union organizations. And that is the Battle of Blair Mountain. I am not advocating for people to go out and get in firefights with law enforcement, although we do have parts of the Bill of Rights that allow that.
Yep.
No, I just want people to realize this is nothing new, and people have been fighting back against the powers that be for a long time. And until we dismantle the current system that controls the world, we got to keep fighting.
For sure.
Okay, Bill. Thoughts?
That's pretty wild. I'm just imagining a firefight in the mountains over here. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, you're just trying to like make dinner, but there's like bullets coming into your house and shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they were like around
Near a
people.
town.
Yeah, no, they were like up on the side of a mountain, but
Yeah.
still kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got like a fuck ton of miners down there and a couple thousand cops up there, and there's just fucking machine guns firing back and forth and shit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's wild.
It's insane to think that only like 100 people died, though.
Yeah.
Out of 15,000 people using machine guns and shit,
I
and
bet.
only
Well, I bet both
100 people
sides.
died?
I bet both sides were scared shitless.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sure. Like, and you can imagine, even though, there were 2,000 people on the coal company's side, these are still probably local people,
yeah.
you know? Like
Sure.
local troops or local officers or whatever. These are their friends,
Yeah.
these are their family. They probably understand why they're so pissed off.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't really want to shoot them,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, I'm sure.
But I'm proud of them. And, yeehaw, fuck the law.
I mean, back then, like, it didn't take a lot for people to stand up for themselves.
Hell
Like,
no.
it's crazy nowadays that, like, when we're like protesting and stuff like that, it's like the effigy of peaceful. Like,
Yeah.
because like there's no. I mean, you might get sex toys thrown at you, or
Did you
let's
see
see
the
what is.
video from the Jolly Ginger?
Yeah, well, follow Markita Media, and
No idea.
he went to go throw sex toys at ICE officers.
Yeah, I follow the Jolly Ginger, and he was there yesterday,
Yeah.
and it was the best thing. I was like, yes, they were on them in the car window. I was like, you notice none of them throw it back out. They too scared to touch the penis because they're afraid they'll like it.
But it's like you compare that to like what they did back then, is just armed to the teeth trying to go like kill
Hmm.
people, and it's like I don't know. It's a weird contrast.
It is a weird contrast, and I think that I don't know. I think we were kind of conditioned to just accept it.
Cause like on you have the protesters on one hand that are all peaceful and not trying to do anything, and then on the other hand you have these guys that are doing the same exact things as the cops were back then. They were shooting people for no fucking reason.
Yeah,
You know?
they're slave catchers.
Yeah.
That's
And
like
it's
what
like
they're based and founded off of. That's literally the
yeah,
system that the law enforcement has been created off of. Is created off of the system of catching slaves, and that's why in the 13th Amendment you can still be a slave if you commit a crime.
right.
Hello? Anybody else make that connection?
Yeah.
Nope, just me. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird contrast.
It is.
Like I don't know.
I don't either. I don't either. All I know is, as they say around here nowadays, your grandpa didn't run shine up in this holler just for you to turn out to be a bootlicker.
Yeah. It's very true.
So get it together, folks. Get it together. All right, guys. We hope you found this episode enlightening and perhaps a bit radicalizing. We hope you guys all have a good week, and we will see you guys later.
Be kind to each other,
Love
but
you. Bye.
resist.
But resist. Fuck guys. Power to the people. Love you.
Love you
Bye.
guys.